So, DC, Warner Brothers, hot topic right now, and for good reason, because there's a lot of stuff going on over there, a lot of cancellations, a lot of rearranging, resetting, and decisions being made that people don't like, particularly the cancellation of the movie Batgirl, which apparently was so bad it was called irredeemable. I don't doubt that, by the way, because the script came from the people who wrote Birds of Prey. So, I mean, this is a whole nother topic, but I mean, basically the main problem in Hollywood, and this is a big problem. Well, there's two. One, it's people getting their buddies in that only have the same ideology that they have. If you have any different ideology, you're not allowed in the industry. The second being that people fail upwards. So if something doesn't do good or fails spectacularly, no problem. They just get moved to new projects. It's a bunch of people with no talent that just keep working. I mean, Batgirl's a perfect example. Birds of Prey scriptwriters, they move on up. Batwoman, CW show, awful ratings. That's okay. Moving on to Gotham Knights, which I don't know, may or may not be canceled. I'm still not sure what's going on with that show. But I think the biggest controversy is what's going on with Flashpoint, the Flash solo movie. I talked about this in my video yesterday. Of course, Ezra Miller in trouble once again. Once again, Ezra Miller's in trouble. He did something stupid. I don't know what the guy's thinking with this stuff. Ezra Miller is loaded. I'm not sure what the estate that he owns has. I'm sure there's millions of dollars in there. And don't forget, it seems that the guy might be running a cult. There's all kinds of weird things surrounding Ezra Miller. But for some reason, Miller thought, I'm just going to break into a home now and steal alcohol. Got arrested for it. Felony burglary charge, which will likely be reduced to a misdemeanor with a plea deal. That's what I'm thinking. But this is Miller's third incident in less than a year. So I don't know. Now, some of the criticism is that you cancel Batgirl, but you keep Flashpoint. And I honestly think that that's somewhat fair because there's a lot of scandals surrounding Flashpoint. But let's be clear why they're keeping Flashpoint. That's because Flashpoint tests well with audiences. That gives the company a lot of positive feelings about it because at the end of the day, all of these companies want to make money. There was no money to be made with Batgirl. Batgirl would have been a flop. Why would it have been a flop? Because it tests poorly. I have no doubt in my mind that that movie was probably as awful as they say. So, you know, now you shelve it. You save $20 million, I hear, is what they're saving from this. And, you know, you don't have to spend money in marketing and stuff like that. So it makes sense to get rid of it. Flashpoint is going to be a problem because how do you market that movie? You can't have Ezra Miller running around doing interviews. I mean, they're going to ask him about all this in the interviews. So it's tough. I honestly think what they should do is cancel it or reshoot it. You know the movie's positive. Get a different actor and you reshoot all of his stuff. Yes, it would be expensive, but I think it would be a better investment. But they're not going to do that. Here's the thing. Now, this is why I want to talk about this. So this is from the Hollywood Reporter. DC Films reset adds more confusion for Warner Brothers slate. And there's something interesting in here. And I want to talk about this. Work has kept up on The Flash, which has been testing well. Miller participated in regularly scheduled additional photography over the summer, apparently without incident, before being charged with burglary, their third arrest this year, on August 7th in Vermont. Still, neither DC nor Zaslav has indicated the film will move on from its June 2023 release date, though insiders say the studio is evaluating all options. So that's interesting. So maybe they are now thinking about canceling it. But here's the thing. The principal photography happened this summer. So sometime in June or July, May, Ezra Miller was secretly doing photography for the movie. This is in the middle of all of the allegations that were coming out on him. So when all that was happening, Warner was staying quiet and headlines were rolling out. They still brought him in to do all of this principal photography, which you have to do before you get ready to do a movie or to release a movie and all that stuff. So it's just interesting that they know all of that was going on, but they still were going to go, like, people were announcing that he was out and all of this stuff. Turns out that was all bullshit because Ezra was still coming for photography when all of that was coming out. They had no intention to get rid of him. And it's quite hypocritical considering what's happened with, like, JD and other people who have been canceled for less. There's a lot of privilege for someone like Ezra Miller. That's where the real privilege is. And this really does show it, by the way. I mean, this is probably the best example of that I've ever seen because Miller is a clown. There's a video of him choking a woman and body slamming her. It looks like he slams. They fall to the ground. It's a bad video. It turns out that was real, by the way, because the woman came forward and talked about it. Then you've got all this cult stuff where the kid had a bullet in their mouth, like chewing on it like it's a toy, apparently. You've got people coming forward talking about grooming, all of this shit. And then you had the Hawaii arrest where he's going crazy and telling people he's going to end their lives. 2 incidents there in Hawaii, by the way, and they're pretty bad. And then finally now the burglary. A lot of stuff, but they still brought him in for principal photography or whatever, additional photography, I'm sorry, knowing all of that was going on. If it had been anybody else, they'd have been gone. So I like Zaslav. I think he's doing some really good stuff over at Warner. A lot of good business decisions. However, this isn't one of them. I'd like to see something happen here, and I think if that does happen, this will change the game up a little bit with the guy. But we'll see. I'm really excited for whatever's going to happen with DC Comics because look at the garbage that's coming out of DC Comics. Teenage Superman fights online hate groups, which is basically just people they don't agree with, ramping that up. And it's funny, this comes out, this is basically direct shots at Comicsgate, Rippaverse, stuff like that does really well. That's their competition. This is basically them trying to smear their competition, is what this is. And this is the kind of garbage that comes out of DC Comics left and right. Because he's not fighting real groups, real hat groups. He's just fighting people that don't agree with the people that work in DC Comics politics positions. Their political positions, they're ideologues. Everybody in the comic book industry is an ideologue. So they're just going after people that they don't agree with. It's the sad situation that mainstream comics has found itself in, and that's why their sales are shit. They have to inflate their numbers with manga to not come off as a joke. No one gives a shit about any of this. It's a good time to get into comic books if you're, you want to be an independent comic book creator, because there is a market that's starving. They're not getting it from the big two like they used to. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Make sure to check out my locals. There's a link in the description. It's a fun community that I'm trying to build over here. If you don't want to support me on YouTube, you can come over here. None of that money goes to YouTube. You also can just come over here for free. But if you are a supporter over here, I do plan on doing an extra live stream once a month and throwing links to the supporters so you can actually come on and have a supporter live stream with me. Also, it's a good place to catch all of my content. You don't have to worry about notifications like YouTube. They'll definitely work over here. So come check out my locals. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out. Also, make sure to follow me over on Twitch. I do watch parties, play video games over there. They're always fun. Follow me over there and come hang out. Also, make sure you subscribe to YellowFlash, my other channel. There's a link to that in the description as well. I do a lot of live streams over there that I don't do on this channel. Usually smaller and a little bit more personal. So make sure you follow me over there and sign up.